Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing Ninja Gaiden 2 on the Series X, and this is my Master Ninja Difficulty Guide and Walkthrough. We're currently on Chapter 4 of 14. It is entitled A Captive Goddess. So, this first part over here is a little lame because you have bats to deal with. If you want to rush through this, you can, but you're going to be dealing with bats up here, and then about 4 IS ninjas, and then you can just jump down if you want to and incorporate the IS ninja that are on this level, and you can bring them down there because there's going to be pretty much no end to the enemies. It might look like, or it might seem like when you're playing, because they just keep coming. And the worst part about it is that the archers are just merciless. So it's never a good idea to dash jump towards archers because they're just going to hit you every time, basically. So if you can just incrementally dash and just take a little bit of chip damage, although it's not really chip damage, it's a little bit more than chip damage. It's like double chip damage. So what you can do is, once you get down here, and by the way, you can normally get off a charge over here if you cross the tripwire, because these ninja over here, they're preoccupied with running to you at first, not necessarily with throwing shurikens at you. That's something that they're going to remember just in one moment. But so when you come down here, there's one archer right in front of you on this side, and there's a couple of archers to the right. So if you want to just, and I think I'm going to do this, I'm just going to try to run past them as much as I possibly can, because you're in a shooting gallery, a nice little kill box over here, and it's just merciless. So what you can do is you can force this by running up to where we're gonna. I think I'm gonna get the chest with the essence, so you can use all of your Nimpo, right, and then you can make your way over to the chest that has Nimpo, and that's conceivably 6 uses of Nimpo, and you're probably going to get drops of Nimpo. And if you do this, you won't have to deal with the archers. I mean, you'll have to deal with some of them as you make it over to this location, but if you are over here, the archers will pretty much unspawn. And I didn't know that they were going to unspawn. I think I go back there and just check on them at some point. But if they're going to unspawn, by me just coming up a little bit, that's really not my problem. I don't want to have to deal with it. But when I redid this, I went over to this box and just spammed Nimpo, just constantly using the wind blades. And here's me going back and assuming that I had archers to deal with, because I don't necessarily mind dealing with archers if I'm not having to deal with incendiaries constantly in me. But they're not there, so too bad for them. Fuck them. And I caution you about this part over here, because getting stomped on by the Gold Van Gelth is instant death, pretty much. I think on base health it's just instant death, but if you come around this corner, the purple Van Gelths will round the corner, but you'll want to watch out for the Gold Van Gelth. Now, I wouldn't max out my incendiary shurikens over here, because there is a free pickup for them coming up, and I think I just bought like 10 or 15. But just make sure that you have enough arrows when you come down here, because these enemies always get trapped on the geometry. Always happens, and you can snipe them, but you have to really be careful of the pounce of that gold one. I got killed a number of times, but if you throw a shuriken at them when they're gliding in the air, what they'll do normally is they'll just rush you, and you can have a nice charge going for them right there. But for whatever reason, that one stopped and was coy about it, and really they don't really do that. They normally will just come gunning for you, which is actually good because then they're not trying to pounce you, and you can prepare a nice charge for them. You'll probably have to drag the essence over to you on this part, but just be careful. Yes, they get trapped, but they can get untrapped like that one just did. And if you're too complacent about everything, you might not realize that they're about to jump on you. So just assume that they might get unstuck at any moment. And there's a good amount of them, and it's a pretty decent environment over here though, because you can go around this corner over here, and you can do charges, and you want to make any use of them using that purple breath attack to jump on their heads, and then just jump away from them and charge. And then XXY is a fantastic move with the Lunar for these guys, with any weapon. I thought I mentioned it earlier about XXY, but XXY is one of the key moves in this game. But if you have the Lunar up to like level 3, even just regular X attacks, you'll find that it delimbs really, really well, and you won't have to do too much. But yeah, we're going to be trying to make as much money as we can on this stage as well. And did you see where it says instant kill? You get an instant kill if you take an enemy from all of the health that he has to dead in just one hit. You'll get that signifier. So when you come up here, there's going to be mages, and I think it's mages and IS Ninja. I don't know if there's any. We'll have to see if there's any gray ninja. But when you are getting the chests over here, you have to make sure that you're not opening a chest and just getting health, because you want to either get the item or you want to get the money from it. Because you can always go to a save point and get your health, and then come back. So how the items work is, it's kind of confusing, but if you have all of the inventory of an item that you are going to be getting from a box, like one of the boxes over here has an herb. If you have the inventory for it like maxed out, so it would be 3. If you have the inventory and if you have full health, you'll get the monetary equivalent of it that you would normally pay for Maramasa, which on Master Ninja is 5,000. So same goes for any other, like the Devilway mushrooms. See, this is a mistake over here. I'm just pointing this out. That was a mistake. I actually rectified that later by not doing that, obviously. So just learn from my mistakes. That should be another herb. And then over here, because this part is a little odd too, because there is a chest down here. Now this is an herb, like I said. No, I'm sorry, it's a Devilway mushroom. But that's 7,000 right there, because we had all of the Nimpo in our key gauge, and we had max Devilway mushrooms. So once you do go over to that chest and then go back a couple of jumps forward, you'll spawn the archers. One of them is right next to one of these canisters that you can shoot and get an instant kill. But you have to, once again, be very careful that you don't just blindly rush towards these archers, because they're pure fucking bastards. They're just joyless enemies to have to fight. And I wouldn't mind them if you can just if you could stagger them with shurikens. I mean, I don't know why they have so much durability, but once you go up here, you're going to spawn one of these IS ninjas over here. He'll spawn so close to you that it's hard to get off a charge, but if you want to go around the corner, you can probably get off a charge. Another one comes down the stairs right over here. There's plenty of time to get a charge, and then you're going to find yourself up here with dogs, fiend dogs. These are the ones we saw in chapter 2. So you want to be doing the on landing 360Y if you can't get a charge off, because that move, it will let you do it, and it has a little bit of armor to it, meaning that it will let you do the move, but you will get damaged. Just keep jumping away. Keep. It doesn't matter if you do the 360Y UT. I mean, it's kind of pointless because it's not for group damage, but not necessarily, because it has that final hit here that it's just for one enemy. But what usually happens is a couple of dogs will get stuck over here, so you can just snipe them. And at any point, if you want, go back and save it. But just be careful about those chests. That, you're not getting screwed every time, you get a chest. So over here, there's a couple of mages. And I don't necessarily know where the tripwire is, but just be careful. Doing the wind path is a terrific move as well. That's not terrific. Fuck you. I hate that so much. But when you are doing the like a wind path, make sure you're doing the wind run into the wind path so that you're targeting them more accurately, because it's a homing jump. It targets them automatically. Also, anytime you want to like jump over to them and do the Izuna drop in the air, make sure that before you do that input, you're doing the wind run, which is A+X. And then over here we have some odd spawns. We have some back alleys over here, and this guy comes right through the wall. It's kind of strange, but I wasn't satisfied with any of this because I just wasn't. I didn't get enough money, and I was just dissatisfied. So I did end up redoing this. And there's also a chest with Nimpo coming up. It's going to completely fill your Nimpo. So you don't need to worry about that too much. And then over here, there is an item as well. It's a non-negotiable item, kind of, because it's on a corpse. And you either have room for it or you don't. So it's right over here. We were one short of that, apparently, so we picked that one up. I would recommend going to the save before, but since we're more or less at full health, we can just deal with these guys. But be careful, because there's 2 of them at a time, and if you want to, you can use a staggered essence to just facilitate one charge after another over here, and it's not very noticeable at first, but behind those cans over here, there's some Nimpo. So I already have the Nimpo, so there's no point of getting it. But just don't forget about that. And then also, you definitely don't want to forget about the Talisman of Rebirth over here. So we're going to be picking this Talisman of Rebirth up, and then on the Test of Valor, you can get another one. And if you already have a Talisman of Rebirth in your inventory, that's going to give you 50,000, the monetary equivalent of it. So this Jewel of the Demon Seal, I'm going to apply to the Art of the Inferno, because I've already committed one to the Wind Blades, and I want to stagger my upgrades so that I have 2 of my Nimpos at level 2. The thing about this part over here is that you have the Fiend Bats over here, so you can throw shurikens, incendiary shurikens, to your heart's content, because there's a corpse over here that's going to have a refill for them as many times as you want to. So you can kill the bats with the shurikens, with the IS shurikens, and then you can use their staggered essence to facilitate charges and try to get UTs on the Vangels because they're worth over 1,000 per kill. But a lot of times when you're trying to charge, you can get interrupted by the bats, so try to take out the bats first. I know it's not the easiest thing because the auto-targeting, it can be good sometimes, but it can also be disgraceful. And they're not the type of enemy that you want to, try to get bow UTs on and worry about them too much. So this chest that's coming up over here, it's got bats, or it's got the fiend bats, or it's got 1,000 in essence. So of course I get the bats. But again, I wasn't satisfied with any of this, so just bear in mind that I've got much more essence than I had when we get to the next save point. Coming out of the test of Valor, I had 185,000 in essence, which is decent. I've seen a lot of people have a lot more than that. The test of Valor is it's scorpions and the chainsaw, the gun zombies, and sometimes you can do a lot of UTs and get a lot of good things going for you in the test of Valor. But if you're depleting too many of your resources and then you have to rebuy everything, it kind of defeats the purpose of doing it. So you need to temper your greed as much as you can by trying to play well, but not too greedily, so that you're not trying to get a UT kill on every bug and every zombie, and it's pretty difficult because the zombies shoot you incessantly. But over here we have a large collection of these guys as usual, and don't forget the Life of the Gods over there. Alexei, the boss of this chapter, he's susceptible to the Dragon Sword, so it is possibly a good idea if you want to upgrade that to level 3. It's got some pretty good moves. It's got, I think YYY is really good on him. Or maybe it's YYYY, but even so, the Lunar is just as good though, so don't worry about that too much. And then as you come up here, this is a pretty joyless fight. You've got purple Vangels and a gold Vangelf down over here, and if you jump down and then jump back the way you were, you can do bow UTs from that raised area that you jumped off of to get into this place. But they still shoot you, and if they hit you with their projectiles, especially the gold ones, you can get knocked off, juggled, killed extremely easily. So I'm using my Nymph over here because I know I have that refill back at the previous save. And when you do get to the next save, there is a grains down on one side of the bridge. So if you have max health and all your grains, you can pick up 7,000 from it. But the incendiaries are pretty good for this. But it's difficult to get charges off of these guys because of the aggressiveness of the purple ones. They're very aggressive, and then the propensity of the other ones to be throwing their fireballs, and they really hurt too. So there's a refill of arrows over here, and again, just don't worry about using the incendiaries because even when you get to the next save, you can go back. I think you can go back really far back down to the sub. Yeah, you can go back down to the subway if you need to go back down there to collect any boxes or anything you might need. So quickly hit the save here, and then we need to get this box without getting hit because if we do get hit, it's going to give us blue essence. When that's pointless. Why would you want that when you have this? Plus, the troll boss fight is really easy to no damage, and even if you don't no damage him, it's not a big deal because you get a full health heal after the fight. But the trade-off is that there's no checkpoint after this. This game does that a lot. The most egregious time that it does it is after the drunken skeleton boss fight, and I think it's chapter 7 or 8. That is inexcusable, unfucking forgivable. This isn't too I mean, it's still unforgivable. But this is my favorite fight in the game. You just stand under his legs and you do like XXY. All the moves that he does, they're just guard breaking moves. So as long as you're not overextending, you can block, take the hit that just breaks your guard, dash away again, and just continue hitting him as much as you can. This fight is much harder than the troll, but unfortunately, these guys are extremely deadly. And what I would recommend over here is to throw the IS shurikens as much as you can. I would not use Nimpo over here because there's no refill of Nimpo anywhere nearby, and you might want it on the test of valor. But the thing about using the incendiaries is that there's a refill of those, a perpetual refill of those, coming up right next to the dragon's claw and tiger's fang. And after this, it's still not over because you have IS Ninja after this as well. And I died a few times on this. I did the troll probably 5 times, beat him 5 times. And it is kind of strange that they fill your health, they give you a full heal after the fight, but they don't give you a checkpoint. It's kind of odd. I'd rather just have a checkpoint and, not have to worry about dying to these things, because these things they're not the hardest thing in the world, but they sure as hell damage you like a train. Okay, so once everybody's finished off, you need to be real careful over here, because once you jump past this corpse, there's going to be these IS Ninja. We didn't jump far enough, so I got kind of stupid with trying to get a charge off right over there. There's probably 6 or 8 of these guys. Looks like they come in 2s. So you definitely want to isolate them as much as you possibly can. Throw them into the wall. It's very handy. And just try not to use the Nimpo. Okay. What can I say? I mean, I didn't need that at all. It would have been nice to... We have health here, but it's just one of those things that aggravates me. This fight is kind of shitty. You have IS Ninja and mages. And you see behind the curtain over here, there's an Xbox logo that you can activate, I think even during fights. And it will give you a full heal. It doesn't give you your Nimpo back, but it does heal you, so you can heal as much as you like over here. So this could be a nice base of operations for you. Anytime you're done with a fight and you want to completely heal and completely save, it's real nifty. Okay, that went decently. And then just remember to pick up the incendiaries over here, and then the new weapon. If you miss it, I'm sure you can buy it later. But there it is right there. So we're going to be running past the Test of Valor site over there, and we also ran past the Xbox logo there. You can interact with that logo. I think I've mentioned it, but you can interact with it at any time, even during a fight. So use that to your advantage. Use the fact that infinite arrows and infinite incendiary shurikens are back in that room as well. And there's never any reason to buy something when you've got a store of it somewhere. But I'm not going to be using the Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang up until the boss of this chapter. The great thing about the Dragon's Claw is that at level 2 you get to have access to the probably one of the best moves for iframes, which is the rotate Y move. And you can actually do that move instead of blocking most of the time because it has so many iframes to its name. And if you upgrade it to level 3 and take on Alexei, you can be dealing him really good damage and avoiding some of his trickier attacks to evade. So these archers are going to do what they usually do. They'll charge you once their numbers start to decrease. And I didn't do it in this video, but when I went back into this room, I decided not to save the footage that you're watching. I decided not to save this. I decided instead to get UTs on all of the Van Gelfs. And the reason I sometimes do that is because it's boring for people to watch that sort of thing. So what I'll do is I'll sometimes have 2 takes. You can actually jump back up here. And if you do go back here like I'm doing, you will have less of these, especially if you go back here, you'll have less of the Van Gelfs. Now that could be a good thing if you fear Van Gelfs, but with the forward Y attack of the Falcon's Talons, you should not be fearing the Van Gelfs anymore. But you'll definitely cause the spawn to be less than it normally is. And after the test of valor, I had I think I had like an even 185,000, and then after I got through with the chapter, I had about I think I had 200,000, and that was also having spent money to upgrade the Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang. I think I might have had less. I think maybe I had 150,000 leaving this stage. But since things are so costly on this game, you definitely want to... sorry. You want to make sure that you can conserve as much as possible. Like, remember that there's a guy here with a devil-way mushroom, so remember to come back to him. And also over here, this is going to be an herb, but since we have our health filled out, there's the reason I paused it there is because I wanted to just give you an idea of where I stood with essence. It's not to brag or anything. It's nothing to really brag about, but I was just giving you some something to compare. And now I've lost my train of thought, but I've been doing some of the survival missions because there are different types of missions that this game offers as DLC, and some of the missions they're just simply not hard. Even on Master Ninja, they're pretty doable. I mean, one of them is actually like easy, even on Master Ninja. Over here, I'll get back to that in just a second. You can use the um, the flame magic on the on the fiend bats, or I'm not sure what they are. They're not bats. They're the flyers. You can kill the flyers with the nimpo, with the fire nimpo, and then you can use their staggered essence to expedite charges. Um, the thing about the auto targeting of the incendiary shurikens is that it's a complete joke. It's very very poor. The only time that it seems to be consistent is if you're standing like right in front of them and they've completely stopped moving, and even then you might miss. And it's just one of those things. If you don't want to fight these things, I would not blame you. But the good thing, on the other hand, is that you see how I've switched to the bow. The bow never misses. How does the bow never miss? And the incendiary shurikens almost always miss. It doesn't make any sense. But back to the missions. I don't. I just don't like the missions. Just to get it out of the way, I don't like the missions, and I particularly don't like the I think there's 8 survival missions, and what those are is you're attempting to get a gold medal, but to get a gold medal you have to have 2 million or more karma score, or I'm not sure if it's called karma score. Just it's got to be it's the amount of karma you accrue plus your kill score, and it at those two numbers, if they add up to 2 million or more, then you get the gold medal. I've got I think I think three of them of the 8, and I've just got to tell you, I don't find them fun at all. I really don't. If you haven't ever played them, you get your weapons maxed out completely, and the damage is on, I believe, normal. I don't know if it's on easy or normal, but it's on one of the lower settings for damage, right? But the thing is, there's like a million fucking enemies all the time hitting you, interrupting you, and you depend on getting these random green essence drops to get your multipliers, and they stack up to 5. So you can get if you get 5 green orbs or essence drops, you get 5 times multiplier, and that applies to the other ones too, depending on how much multiplier. But they expire, and it's always a race against the clock to get to maximize your score before your multiplier runs out. But the thing about it is, there doesn't seem to be any way to, and I'm sure like some mathematical genius could figure this out, but there doesn't seem to be any way to do it without sort of depending on luck, luck of getting a good drop, because you have to keep getting greens to sustain your combo, and you get the most points by doing UTs and OTs, killing sprees, and things like that. But anytime you do a UT or an OT, you're only ever going to get yellow essence. So it's one of those things where you've got this problem on the one hand of needing to get a lot of score, and another problem of having to race against the clock to get your multiplier sustained, and then of course not getting killed. There are no health items, and I think that's okay about no health items, but because I say that because of the damage. It's on normal, you know. But again, there's so many fucking enemies all the time hitting you, and some of the weapon challenges are quite difficult because some weapons have a struggle to kill enemies that can't be delimbed. I think every enemy in this game should be able to get delimbed, you know. Like one particular example is the dogs. You can't delimb the dogs. You should be able to delimb the dogs. You should be able to Azuna drop the dogs. Well, maybe that's going too far, but you know, this game was founded on the property of delimbing people. Anyway, when you get into this room over here, we're still fighting these things too. It's ridiculous, and I'm resorting to doing physical attacks on them because I am out of projectiles. So I mean, it's just ridiculous, and you're just thinking while you're playing this, why don't you just give me an infinite amount of arrows? You know, I don't need an infinite amount of incendiary shurikens. You know, they're too powerful. But if you're gonna put shit in a game like this, you know, either have arrows somewhere close by. You know, because if you run back and try to get the arrows, you know, way back in the main room where the Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang was, you know, these guys aren't going to be around anymore. So I'm not sure about the tripwire point. I think it's just a little bit through the entrance of the door. But the problem about this is that you'll have one or two or none, archers. If you want no archers, all you have to do is just like run around the building and they'll unspawn, or just go down the stairs and then come back and they unspawn. But for some reason, I may have gone too far over there to the right, but I unspawned them a couple times. But I think on this particular run, I was able to get both of them. And these are the ones that you can't stagger to get some sort of benefit or advantage. I think the only ones that you can stagger are the ones with the bazookas. Okay, so we have Lives of the Thousand Gods to pick up over here, a save, and then we're almost finished with the chapter. But at this point, you'll want to run back and refill on all of your incendiaries, all of your arrows, and all that good stuff. And then I actually got an on-landing charge right here. So if you do get an on-landing charge, you have time enough to get a UT. Failing an on-landing charge, you'll get an ET, or you might not even be able to have the time enough to get an ET. And I think there's 4 of these guys, so you could just let them drop down and UT them. So it's going to be your choice too about what you want to use on Alexei. The Dragon Sword has a great combo for dealing with Alexei. The YYYY attack. The Lunar XXY is okay. But the Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang also has a good YYYY attack. And if you have it up to at least level 2, you can do that 360Y attack and have attacks just go right through you. And he's got some difficult attacks to dodge. He truly does. I'm not good at Alexei. And that's the reason I don't like him, because you don't like things that keep beating you up. This kind of stuff always happens over here. These guys, you'll see this time after time. These guys just running into walls. Their AI is screwy. but always take advantage of it. Get bow UTs. So I think those are decent choices for Alexei. He does have a rage attack at when he has like 20% of his health left, and he I think what it is that he spins faster, and he does a second spin. He'll normally do one of those cyclone spins, but when he gets into rage mode, he's going to do it twice. So you need to be aware of that. And it's got to be said about Alexei, he's probably one of the grab happiest bastards of all the bosses. And his grabs are difficult to evade too. I'm also not going to be fighting the bats over here. But just notice that I've got the Falcon's Talons on, but I would recommend either the Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang or the Dragon's Sword. Now, if he does grab you, he is susceptible 100% of the time to getting hit by Nimpo, namely the flame, the Inferno. Sorry. So if he ever grabs you after you get dropped, you're not going to be able to press the Nimpo buttons because the game and its priority system. But so dash and then release the Nimpo, and you'll hit him. But I think better than the Dragon Sword though is really the Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang. It has a very steady type of rhythm to it, and it doesn't have many gaps in between hits that would cause vulnerability. And that's not true of the Dragon Sword though, because after the fourth Y in that Y input, there is a decent recovery period for Ryu. Now you could mitigate that by using Nimpo if you want to, but you don't have to use Nimpo if you're using the Dragon's Claw and Tiger's Fang, because you could just do the 360Y attack, and he's going to rush you at first, and staying close to him is actually better than staying far away from him. And these grabs, I don't know what to say about them. They're just disgusting. But yeah, Y is perfect. When he jumps down like that, just get out of the range of the sphere. Watch how I dash and then throw the Nimpo. You don't have to aim in. It'll just hit him. But you really need to watch his patterns of when he does. I'm sorry. His punching patterns. Here he is in rage mode. But now he's going to be doing, like I said earlier, he's going to be doing 2 dashes at you, but he can't do much to you if he can't hit you. So I would highly recommend here his 1 dash, 2 dashes. So just be aware of that. And that has been chapter 4. Pretty long chapter if you ask me, and we got the Master Ninja rank too. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that it helped you, and I'll see you in chapter 5. Please take care.